But Creonte, you need to remember God's law. Antígona. Здравствуйте. Hello, salut, konnichiwa, hola. Tudo bem? And welcome back to La Música del Derecho. Hello, I'm Javier, as you can know, here in La Música del Derecho. Here we are in a new video and we are going to express an enormous topic. The topic is natural and positive law. And before starting, you can see here Santa. I hope Merry Christmas to all of you. Well, positive and natural law. Two topics that are the essence of the modern law around the world. I can introduce these two important topics by saying that positive law is the national law that some country, the state of that country, have in their legislative aspects, because we need to remember that all countries have laws and that laws needs to pass through all the phases that the country has in their legislative books, in their legislative papers. So we can say that the positive law is this important law that the legislative cameras or the legislative power makes because of his representation, thanks to the vote of all the people in a certain country. Against that, natural law is really simple. It's the essence that covers the human beings. And the natural law are all the aspects and all the characteristics that defines the human being, because we have necessities because we are humans, and that necessities are named natural law because, as you can imagine, natural is because it's natural to the human being, and doesn't matter if the natural law is written or not, because we as humans, we need to analyze that we have necessities. An important fact here is that natural law is the main essence to create the nowadays human rights, because human rights are written and natural law is not written. Is the main essence, as I already said, and the main characteristics that the human being has. But the natural law, thanks to this natural law, we have human rights, and these important rights that are written in a lot of nowadays international treaties. So we can say here that human rights have an important connection with the natural and the positive law. And why? Let me explain. The natural law is really connected with the human rights because are all these characteristics that have the main essence, and also thanks to that essence is because we now respect, and also the governments respect, the human dignity. So two important facts: natural law sorry Santa, natural law, these aspects, the characteristics of the human beings, and positive law, written law, because of the opinion of the legislative courts around the world. That's the main characteristics of these two topics. Now, history of positive and natural law. I can start by saying, by my special opinion, that positive law has like different type of histories around the world. All the countries have their own opinion, but by my opinion, I can say that the positive law is created thanks to the evolution of the law around the world. Doesn't matter the country, all the countries have like this progressism and this evolution of their juridic systems, and that evolution is the main history of the positive law of each country around the world. An example of this, we can say, for example, Mexico, United States, the Republic of Iran, Russia, Japan, a lot of countries, they, in their own history, they have been increasing their law, and that's positive law. Why? Because we need to remember, as I already said, that the positive law is a law that the legislative courts, also the judicial courts, create in each country around the world. So the positive law is the national law, the national opinion. Each country has a different opinion of law around the world, because we don't have the same laws in Mexico or in United States, for an example. And the history of natural law. Well, I don't have a specific aspect of history of natural law, but I can tell you a story, really interesting story of a Greek author. His name was Sophocles. He wrote a lot of important books, but I can tell a really connection with the natural law with his final book, Antigona. Why Antigona? Because this is an important fact, and also I can say an important situation by the connection of the natural law that Sophocles think his story, Antigona, and also Oedipo King. So the plot is this. Antigona wants to bury his brother. The plot is that his brother made an civil revolution in his country, in his city. So the king has the determination that he will be punished by not getting buried. And Antigona said, but Creonte, you need to remember God's law. And that's the natural law. Aspects that the people needs to respect the religion of all the people, because here Antigona made an important fact. That fact was telling the king Creonte that you are not the people, you are not the main person that can determine all the laws by creating them. No, you need to remember that we have important necessities, that we have important characteristics, because we are human beings. And you need to remember Creonte, the king Creonte, we have necessities, we have characteristics, aspects, and necessities. And one of these necessities is that my brother needs to get buried because of my culture, because of my religion, and because of my natural law. That's the main fact of this story. We can say that Antigona in this story was defending his brother because of his human rights and because of his natural law. Nobody can trespass, and nobody can say what the main essence of the human being is. No, because you can make positive law, but you can't trespass the human natural law. Main examples and main types. In natural law, we have the right to eat, for example, the right of have a good health, and also the right, and I like this a lot, to express myself, because nobody can say what I need to do. No, I can express myself because it's natural, because of my characteristics of human being. In positive law, we have all the laws that are positive, that are written because of the main opinion of the state. For example, we can have here the tributary aspects, or the main aspects in the constitution and in the civil law, in the labor law, in the procedural law, in a lot of laws, because it's the main opinion of the legislative courts, and we need to follow that opinion, because we as citizens, we vote for the legislative people that represents us. Another opinion that I need to tell all of you is that nowadays a lot of people say that we have like a battle, an intense battle between these two type of laws. In one hand we have, as you know, the positive, and in other hand we have the natural law. But in my opinion, this is not a battle. I want to express this. We don't have a battle. We have an important connection. Positive law is immersing the natural law. We need to think and analyze. The natural law is being positive, because the natural aspects are being placed in the positive law. And what's that? Human rights. And what are human rights? Well, the natural law. A conclusion for this video, I can tell that here in Mexico, we have the natural law, the human rights in our constitution, and in all the Mexican laws. So that's the progressive aspects of law. We need to have modern laws around the world, and thanks God, here in Mexico, the Mexican law is being in a lot of progress, and that's really cool. And thanks also to the Inter-American Court, that is a reality, because Mexico has signed a lot of international treaties, and an important international treaty about these important aspects that I am telling all of you is in the Inter-American Convention of the American States. So this is so important to the progressive evolution of the law. Spasiba, thanks a lot, merci beaucoup, arigato gozaimasu, gracias, muito obrigado. Thanks a lot for all your attention. This was La Música del Derecho. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire it's so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.